The 58th Annual CMA Awards happen live tonight from Nashville's Bridgestone Arena beginning at 7 p.m. Stay tuned here for all the news and updates as they happen. For the final award of the night, Entertainer of the Year, actor Jeff Bridges called out the name Morgan Wallen as the winner. Then he quickly shifted to the dude from the Big Lebowski and said, "Morgan's not here, maaaaaan." It was Wallen's first Entertainer of the Year CMA win and his second CMA award, but he was unfortunately not in attendance to accept it. Co-host of the awards, Lainey Wilson, who was also nominated in that category, took the stage to wrap up the show and congratulated Wallen on his win. The empathy, savvy and awareness that have colored Eric Church's 2024 are why he chose to perform his latest single, Darkest Hour, at 2024's Country Music Association Awards. 6 weeks ago, in the wake of Hurricane Helene's devastation and before he and Luke Combs partnered for the Concert for Carolina, the Western North Carolina native released the orchestral and soulful ballad, signing over all publishing royalties from his first new song in 3 years to the people of North Carolina. In this country, we're good at initially providing people in need with food, water, and diapers. But we're not so good at entirely rebuilding communities, noted the former CMA Entertainer of the Year to the Tennessean. When you're not a developer and taking on the project of trying to build 100 homes in western North Carolina, it's an emotional and time-consuming process. I'm working 15 hours a day to use the funds raised by the Concert for Carolina. He said, "This is the busiest I've ever been in my life because every day that we don't have a home built, I feel the pressure of the people who are still in tents and shelters who need to be back in homes." In a press statement, Church said Darkest Hour was dedicated to unsung heroes who show up when the world's falling apart. "I played Darkest Hour at the CMA Awards to maintain the power of what music can do as a banner and anthem for assistance in the real world," Church continued. "In America, we tend to move on from things quickly, so we're continuing to focus on the people of North Carolina, who will need help for a long time. Raising awareness for the problems they will continue to face will allow them to receive assistance." Perched on a stool armed only with her acoustic guitar and a spotlight, Grammy-winning 2024 Country Music Association Female Artist of the Year nominee Ashley McBryde performed a beautiful, moving rendition of Kris Kristofferson's "Help Me Make It Through the Night." Prior to the show, McBryde had nervous tears deep in her eyes as she spoke about performing the tribute. "I've been singing, 'Help Me Make It Through the Night,' since I was a child, so there was no chance that I would forget a chord or a word," McBryde said prior to the performance. Honoring the moment and the song was important, she added regarding Kristofferson's 1970 released song that benefited from versions by artists including Sammy Smith, Willie Nelson, Joe Simon and Gladys Knight and the Pips, among many others. McBryde recalled meeting Kristofferson via Eric Church at BMI's Songwriters Festival in Maui. The legend was himself, a Maui resident who owned 25 acres on the island's southeastern shore for 3 decades. When Church's wife, Catherine, suggested they meet, the Lindeville album vocalist burst into tears because Kristofferson was her and her father's favorite songwriter. "Once I gathered myself and we finally met, it was wonderful." Ain't Enough Cowboy Songs. Also of note, McBryde's latest single, Ain't Enough Cowboy Songs, is set for release on December 6. Its creation relates well to the legacy of Kristofferson, the artist she honored at the CMA Awards. Written alongside Chris Harris and Patrick Savage, the ballad highlights her desire to, amid a changing industry, remain steadfast to timeless principles. "In the last several years, we've all felt like something is missing. I noticed it in myself and most people I came in contact with, and we don't always know how to articulate it. The cowboys we looked up to growing up made us want to be the way we are. The music associated with them and the lives they lead. There's no substitute for hard work, resilience, kindness, standing up for and with folks in their weaker moments and knowing when to take it on the chin and when to give it. And no matter what else we may try to fill that hole with a broken bar, there ain't enough of it to ever resemble the real thing." Until tonight, Brooks Dunn and Vince Gill were tied for the most CMA Award wins with 18 trophies each. Brooks Dunn took home the win for Duo of the Year at the 58th Annual CMA Awards, making history with their record-breaking 19th trophy and 15th time winning in the category. Now, the Neon Moon and Boot Scootin' Boogie duo are the ones to beat, continuing their reign as CMA Awards royalty. George Strait joined an A-list group of artists including Jamie Johnson, Miranda Lambert, Chris Stapleton and Parker McCollum in a live performance as they honored the Texas troubadour with the Country Music Association's Willie Nelson Lifetime Achievement Award. After the performance, Strait stood at the mic waiting for the raucous applause and standing ovation to die down before he was able to be heard. "I'd like to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ," Strait calmly spoke. "It was so amazing to hear all these wonderful artists doing my songs. I'm just glad I got them before you all did," he joked. Regarding his partnership with Lambert, McCollum previously told the Tennessean that the performance continues a series of dream-come-true scenarios of alliances with the Kerosene vocalist, with whom he partners on the duet Santa Fe from her 2024 album Postcards from Texas. "She, like myself, is a Texan," he said. "However, she's also, in her own right, a bona fide superstar of whom I've been a fan as long as I can remember. It's always a special honor to work with and learn from her." Troubadour, the triple platinum selling title track to Strait's 25th studio album, has been a favorite of McCollum's sets since his teenage roots on stage. "George Strait's music played while I was in the womb because my mom was such a fan of his. It's the earliest music I remember hearing and falling in love with as a child," added McCollum. Cody Johnson seemed surprised when presenters called his name as the winner of Album of the Year for Leather. He approached the mic and said, "I never thought there would be a moment to do a Ric Flair, but now is the time," and followed it with the wrestler's famous woo-oo. "I literally just leaned over to my wife before they called the winner's name and said Jelly's got this," Johnson said. Old Dominion made history with their 7th win for Vocal Group of the Year. The band has won the award 7 years in a row, breaking the record for the most consecutive wins in the category. The win also broke the one-man band group's tie with other bands Little Big Town, Rascal Flatts and the Statler Brothers. As Old Dominion took the stage to accept their award, lead singer Matthew Ramsey addressed the crowd. "I was thinking, I don't know how we got here, but then I realized I do know how," he said. "We did it as a band. We worked together and collaborated with each other as a band. We've got to thank all the bands that came before us," Ramsey continued. "Oak Ridge Boys, Alabama, Lady A, Zac Brown and all the guys who paved the way for us." Carrie Underwood joined Cody Johnson on stage for his performance of the duo's song I'm Gonna Love You. While Johnson's performance had been announced, Underwood was a surprise. When thinking of a duet partner for the song, Johnson knew immediately who it had to be. "It had to be Carrie or nobody because I knew she could deliver a special performance that would push me to elevate my work." When we recorded the song, in discovering a key that wasn't too high for me or low for her, we found a naturally perfect harmonic blend, Johnson previously told the Tennessean. The maaaaaan singer took home the trophy for New Artist of the Year in a category stacked with emerging new talent. Morgane stepped up to the mic, saying, "I hope I can get through this without crying," before thanking those who had helped her get to this point in her career as well as her fans. Alabama natives Riley Green and Ella Langley's pairing for radio and social media favored top 10 country hit You Look Like You Love Me arrived on the CMA Awards stage on Wednesday evening. In a year where neo-traditional country stylings continued to revive themselves in the genre's mainstream, the Come Hither duet pairing two already buzzworthy and rising stars. A. Green's a country chart topper and vocalist behind the underground favorite I Wish Grandpas Never Died, while Langley's a 2024 CMT Next Women of Country class member A has created the most likely of unlikely stirs. You can't open a phone, get on a stage, or turn on a radio anywhere and not hear it. Everyone's diving into it, jokes Green while discussing his performance with the Tennessean. Post Malone and Chris Stapleton kicked off the 58th annual CMA Awards with a performance of California Sober before turning the show over to this year's hosts Luke Bryan, Peyton Manning and Lainey Wilson. The three traded opportunities to poke a little fun at each other before landing the winning joke of the monologue. Wilson said, "We learned this year that cowboys cry too," referring to the duet of the same name by Kelsey Ballerini and Noah Kahan. Manning swooped in and added, "But enough about Jerry Jones, poking fun at the Dallas Cowboys owner for the team's less than spectacular football season. When rolling through the list of the night's performers, one host mentioned that Shaboozey would be performing tonight, before making reference to his hit A-Bar song, Tipsy. Brian popped in with "Yeah, we call that a Shaboozey." Country music's Billy Ray Cyrus weighed in on his Instagram account Wednesday, congratulating all the CMA Award nominees while defending Beyonce Igrave, who did not garner any CMA nominations for her Grammy-nominated Cowboy Carter album. Cyrus and Lil Nas X won a CMA Award in 2019 for Event of the Year for their massive hit Old Town Road, which Cyrus pointed out was not part of the televised broadcast, but he hoped this year would be different. "I'm so happy and proud to see country music opening their doors and format to be inclusive to all people, all styles," his post read. He went on to say, "I was surprised to see it Beyonce wasn't nominated? ? Her album was brilliant. A broken bar her single ruled, but she knows that she doesn't need a trophy from the CMA broken bar or permission a broken bar, or approval from any of their judges. When you knock him out a broken bar, you don't need no judge. Muhammad Ali. The CMA Awards air tonight at 7 p.m. Court on ABC. Red Carpet Live. Watch our coverage as the stars arrive. It's the 58th Annual Country Music Association Awards, and the Tennesseans' team of music reporters will be interviewing the biggest stars in country music as they arrive on the red carpet. Watch, live, hear and see the outfits and hear their thoughts as they arrive. Many of country's top names are among the most nominated at tonight's awards. Wallen is nominated 7 times, 4 of which for his collaboration with Post Malone, I Had Some Help. Dueling it out for the top honor of the night, the Entertainer of the Year, are Luke Combs, Jelly Roll, Chris Stapleton, Morgan Wallen and Lainey Wilson. New Artist of the Year nominees are Megan Moroney, Shaboozey, Nate Smith, Mitchell Tenpenny, Zach Top and Bailey Zimmerman. Tonight's CMA Award show features a star-studded lineup of performers including Post Malone, Chris Stapleton, Lainey Wilson, Shaboozey, Casey Musgraves and Bailey Zimmerman. Several duets have also been announced. Here is a complete list of the night's performances.